And then now, of course, we have Daryl Brooks, who had just the biggest criminal driving through a Christmas parade in, I think it's pronounced Waukesha, Wisconsin, just a few days ago. How are you noticing the differences in how these two events are being covered?
Well, when Kyle shot people, you know, it was killer kills 2, injures 1. When Daryl Brooks,
I think it's Daryl, yeah.
yeah, when Daryl Brooks murders 6 people with his SUV, it's called a car crash. I mean, that's the difference. It's an insane double standard that the media has. I don't know if they're mad over Kyle, so they're just going to mitigate this one. Who knows whatever decision making is going on at the title writers there. But this is a guy who, when you watch that video, which is it's tough to watch, you know, I'm going to use it though as evidence. I hate going to parades. I hate it, and I have all these kids, and I have to go to them all the time. But I'm going to show my wife and be like, no, I'm not going to any more parades. Look at this. But no, you gotta, like, how do you look at that video and say, yeah, you know, this just a car crash, bro? Like just a thing. It's like, you can word it as car plows into crowd at parade. You don't have to say that he murdered everybody yet. He's not guilty until you know, he goes to trial. But just the
yeah.
I mean,
here's Daryl Brooks allegedly tried to kill his ex-girlfriend weeks before the Waukesha parade. I mean, if you're like being arrested for a murder, I would be like, can I just cut my dreadlocks really quick? I know that this is probably not helping my whole look here. I don't know. Can I cover these tattoos? I don't know. Maybe
I love the outfit that he's in is crazy town. Like, what the hell is that?
This is a backwards LL Bean vest. I don't know. It looks like he was getting a filling, like, or it looks like the X-ray blanket that the dentist puts over you before they take like an X-ray of your mouth.
Yeah, like the lead blanket.
The lead blanket.
Yeah,
and he just
I don't get what that is. Normally they just be in like the jumpsuit or whatever. It's Wisconsin. It's not like it's warm out,
right?
You know, what's he doing? But no, this is, and yeah, it's important to remember or note, if people, I guess you can't remember it if you didn't hear it, but he was out on bail, and his bail was $1,000, and he had multiple felony charges. And the crazy thing is, one of the charges that he was out on bail for is that he was skipping bail. So he skipped a previous bail. He then gets bail this time, and it's super low. $1,000 is nothing. To give people reference for that, in my town, which is the big town near me, is 20,000 people. I had a case where a guy had a minor possession charge for THC oil. It's the lowest level of felony you can have, and his bail was $20,000.
Wow. Like, yeah, $1,000. That's just one butthole picture on OnlyFans. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially from Daryl Brooks. I mean, there you go. Look at that. Look at those eyes.
How are you not on drugs? This is a person who's on drugs. And he's still wearing his weighted blanket in this photo.
Yeah. Is that like an anti-stab blanket? I'm trying to figure out what that thing is. I assume the state put it on him, right?
This is my favorite blanket. Yeah. So he can't stab himself? I don't know.
I don't know.
He was leaving. No, I guess he was leaving or running away from a knife fight somewhere else. And I was reading on someone's feed that like they did an exact, got in their car and synced it up with the police, like recording, or the police commentary, and drove from where the knife fight was to the parade, and it like syncs up perfectly. And they were able to prove that Daryl did speed up, as it wasn't like he was like, oh, I went the wrong way. Like they were able to be like, he obviously sped up and targeted this Christmas parade on purpose.
The chat is making fun of me. They say it's a suicide prevention attire because you can't rip it like into strips.
Oh, wow. What will they think of next? They didn't have Epstein in one of these anti-suicide blankets.
He did not have one. Not at all.
He'd be like, could you not? Green is not my color, That is so funny, and so there's no arms on it, right? Because you can't choke yourself with the arms.
I feel like he's going to a sword fighting competition, though. It's like,
Yeah, I feel like you could wear this to the Ren Fair.
yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's and you think about, like, why is the media, like, running just like they ran cover for, the pedophile guy that was involved in the Rittenhouse trial, what was it, Rosenbaum?
Yeah,
And now
no
they're
kidding.
covering for this guy. It's like, I guess does the mainstream media just feel like they have to keep this up because if it's not about race, the whole house of cards falls down and they have to just go back to, like, regular journalism again, and they can't just peddle, racism as their, business model anymore.
I think it's reflective of the fact that they're losing. Like, it's not that social media and independence is winning yet. We will, but they know. They can see the numbers decline. They can see, uh, there's the old adage, right? Like, how do you fix racism? And it's like one death at a time, I guess. It's like the idea that the racist generations will die off. And it's not it's not 100% true on racism, but I think it is true on legacy media. Because how many people do you know and interact with anymore that even watch TV, like, at all? Like, the idea of having cable is foreign to me now. And we haven't had cable in our house in, um I don't know, 6 years, because we just weren't watching it. And the only people I know that do, like, are older, and they're just so used to having something on the TV just kind of as noise. They're not even paying attention to it. But I think they know. They're watching their numbers decline. They're watching their influence wane. And so they've got to up the sensationalism. We see them adopting things like clickbait in major media stuff. We see him adopting the listicle, right? Like, major
Oh gosh.
5 things you need to know about this defendant. It's like, oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's a YouTube thumbnail. Thank you. But we see that happening, and that they're getting destroyed by viral and independent media, and so I think they're going to ramp it up until they eventually flutter out.
Right, because they probably saw during the Trump years, wow, like, we're sensationalizing him, we're talking so much shit about Trump, this is great, and then they probably saw maybe an uptick with COVID, like, "Okay, we gotta keep people angry and in fear 24/7, we don't care how we do it, we don't care how we get the people there," and, I don't know, people are just, like, exhausted, and I feel bad for those that are trapped into feeling like, "I have to watch this all the time or else I'm not updated, I'm not in the know," and it's like, you're on a hamster wheel of horror. I don't know, you're
Yeah.
on, like, a hamster wheel of misery.